Coming to you from the Deep South, this is the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast. High-impact leadership is not reserved for leaders, and it has nothing to do with your position, title, or rank. However, it does have everything to do with your character. It's time to climb to the next level and beyond, personally and professionally. Now, let's start making it happen with your host, Max Story.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast. Today, we're on part 12 of this 17-part series where we're talking about the difference between managing people and leading people. So today, the topic is credit. So what I know about managers of people is that they're quick to look in the mirror and take credit for what others have done when things go right. They're driven by their pride and their ego. You may have witnessed this. I've been on teams before where someone on the team will come up with a great idea, and then later I see or hear their boss talking about how it was somehow their idea, even though they were not even involved with the decision making or the implementation. Instead of giving credit to the team, they're trying to take credit for what the team did and get some recognition from their boss. I've seen it over and over and over and over. So that's a management mindset around credit. Managers want to take credit. Leaders of people, they're quick too, but they're quick to look through the window. Instead of looking in the mirror and taking credit, leaders of people are quick to look through the window and give credit freely to others when things go right. They're not driven by pride and ego. They have humility. So everyone loves being around a leader who excels in the area of giving credit to others and being humble. High-impact leaders are always giving credit to others. Sometimes they give credit they may not rightly deserve, but they give them the credit to help lift them up, to give them confidence that they are a part of the team. Sometimes high-impact leaders give credit to others when the high-impact leader actually deserves it themselves. But they don't want credit. They want to make it someone else's idea. They don't need it. They don't want it. And they don't like the credit. They're all about growing and developing the team. They want the team to be successful. So what do these leaders like instead? Results. Everyone else can have the credit for the results. A high-impact leader simply wants the results and is happy to pass on the credit for achieving them to others. That's a pretty powerful difference in the way managers of people versus leaders of people see credit. And I shared a while back a story about what I learned, one of the greatest lessons I learned from frontline blue-collar coworker. Both of us were machine operators. But my coworker, he had a leader's mindset, and he gave credit. When I came up with good ideas, he would, instead of waiting till I was somewhere else while he was training me to take credit from his boss, he would actually call his boss, his supervisor. I worked on a different shift, so it wasn't really my supervisor. It was his supervisor, but he was training me. So he would go out of his way to call his supervisor over whenever I came up with a good idea or process improvement, that sort of thing. He wanted to make sure that I got the recognition, so he'd call the supervisor over. After he had already told me I did a good job, he would find the supervisor and bring him over and tell him what I did and ask me to tell him why I did it and how I thought about it and that sort of stuff. So I learned a lot about this character trait from a leader, a frontline leader, an entry-level blue-collar machine operator who had a leader's mindset. And I've also seen right the opposite. Other people, frontline entry-level people, or potentially supervisors or managers who have a manager mindset. And their goal is to take as much credit. That's how they think they get ahead in the world, is to take credit. I want to share with you something, a quote from John Wooden. And John says, talent is God-given. Be humble. Fame is man-given. Be grateful. Conceit is self-given. Be careful. So you may or may not be a person of faith, but you surely understand we're all born with a specific set of natural talents that we didn't have to earn. We kind of came preloaded with these natural talents, and we're already kind of ahead of the pack. So what Wooden said was, be humble. He says, be humble. So I'm going to add, you do not deserve the credit for your natural talent. It's a gift. So don't try and take the credit. On fame, Wooden said, be grateful. So I want to add, fame can only be learned through influence. You can't decide you're going to be famous. Only others can choose to make you famous by recognizing you for good or bad. And Wooden said it best at the end. He said, be careful. What he was talking about is conceit. No one can make you conceited. You must choose to be conceited. And you can only choose to be humble. You can also choose to be humble and avoid it. Either is a choice. And as a gentleman I met who was the retired prison warden of Angola, which is a Louisiana State Penitentiary, he transformed that organization, and I had the pleasure of meeting him when Rhea and I spoke to a group of prison wardens out in San Francisco area, and got to tour San Quentin and got to spend some time with retired prison warden Burl Cain. And one of the cool takeaways I took from him was when he was talking to the group, one of the first things he said was, be humble so you don't stumble. And I thought, man, that's pretty good stuff right there. And I think about Captain Michael Abrashoff, who took over a United States naval missile destroyer ship. And it was classified as the worst in the Navy in its category. And 2 years later, it was the best in the Navy. So when we talk about credit, one of the quotes I love from Captain Abrashoff, he says, I was not interested in flattery or fluff. Rigidity gets in the way of creativity. Instead of salutes, I wanted results. And that's what high impact leaders are focused on, results. They want results. They don't care who gets the credit. I've led thousands of teams, and I could care less if I ever got the credit. People were hiring me because they knew I knew what to do. I had gotten results in the past, and they expected me to get results now. There's no reason for me to run around, toot my horn, hold my hand up, and try to get credit. I was hired because people thought I could do the job. If you're a leader, you're in the job because people believe you can do the job. There's no reason to take credit from your team. Give credit, and you'll build trust with your team. That's the whole point behind it. Remember, leadership is influence. And you're going to grow and develop your influence regardless of your position or title or lack of a position or title. It doesn't matter. Who you are is what matters. And when you give credit to other people, your influence is going to increase because you're building trust with others. Your character and integrity is showing through, especially if you deserve credit and you still give it to others. So I hope you was able to take away a nugget or two from this lesson. Talk to you next time.
Make it happen or someone else will. It might as well be you. Are you serious about taking your career and your life to the next level and beyond? Check out Mac Story's Blue Collar Leadership Series books and others, now available on audio, along with paperback and ebooks at Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. Please visit bluecollarleadership.com to learn about Mac's books, programs, special offers, certifications, and more. Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast.